I've missed you, motherfuckers. This is the Untapped Territory podcast. The head is out. I wanted this whole scheme of it being a TikTok thing where it's the blue comment like Joe Barba head, and it was like a prolonged joke. But honestly, I'm itching to put this episode out, and I'm very somber, as you can kind of tell, and I just shaved my head like yesterday. So, putting a hat on right now to shield you guys from this absolute dome glare is like not in my best interest. So the prolonged joke that I had stretched out for over about 14 years that I was gonna play it out for has quickly come to an end. But that's not the only thing that's changed. I also am on a new, I guess you can call it studio, but it's literally just my room, right? And behind me, I got this fucking magnificent desk on here, and I know what you're asking me. Joe, where did you get that? Where did you buy that? I want that same exact one with the lights underneath and the sexy fucking bald bearded man sitting in front of it. Joke's on you. I'm not for sale. But the desk might be for the right price. But I actually made it. I was going through a bunch of shit, and I just wanted to kind of clear my room out, clear some space up, have somewhere to kind of do the podcast, and I figured, fuck it, let me put my creative side to the max and put these blue collar hands towards something else other than jerking off. You know what I'm saying? So I designed it. I planned everything out. I went to my buddy's house, Jake, Elevate Detailing. Shout out, that motherfucker is doing good things. But I went to his house, cut up some of the pieces, brought all the wood back here, stained the plywood, stained all the 2x4s, and started assembling it. Put the lights on. Took me about 3 days in total, on and off, being on a boat and going fishing and drinking, just doing random stuff. So, you know what I mean? But let me get into the real shit now. So, where I've been for the past 3 weeks, I guess you could say I kind of went ghost, but like not really. I guess I've had a lot of personal shit going on, and originally I wasn't gonna come on here and talk about it, but I figured that I owe you guys this, or it's almost a way for me to let out some feelings and vent a little bit. So as you guys know, that I lost my job back in the beginning of April, and that's what kind of stemmed this whole podcast thing, where I was like, you know what, it's a perfect opportunity for me to fully like chase my dreams, I guess you could say. And it was cool. It was cool having those couple weeks to myself, I guess 2 months to myself of not doing anything, just waking up, trying to get my knee healthy, and focusing on the podcast 100%. And I'm sorry that I've been lacking. I'm definitely gonna get back into it. But so I recently started working for a construction company that I used to work at back when I was like 17, 18. Nothing too crazy. The work isn't too hard, but I've been doing it for a while, so I guess I'm good at it. And plus, the owner of the company, I guess, really likes me for whatever reason. I don't know why, but I guess he really likes me. So he asked me, or not asked me, but I asked him. I was like, yo, like, I'm in between jobs right now, like, kind of itching for money. Like, would it be cool if I just gave you a hand for a couple weeks until I kind of get like a full-time job set up, right? And he was like, yeah, fuck it, come in, right? So for the past couple weeks, I've been working with him. Probably about like the past month, I've been working with him, and oh, it sucks. Like, I should have treasured, I guess the word would be, treasured my time off. Because going back to work and like waking up at like 6 in the morning, oh my god. You know what I mean? Like, it's ruthless. But then again, on the flip side of the spectrum, it's nice. It makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel like I have things to look forward to. It made the weekends more exciting because now I'm off of work and I get to spend time with my friends and go out and do the things that I want to do. And especially with the weather being nice, like, I could fucking plan a fishing trip, or I can go to the beach or just stay home in the air condition. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing too crazy, but that's one of the things that's been going on. Another big thing, which is honestly probably the biggest reason, I my dad was in the hospital. So as you guys know, I mean, like, I had him on a call on an episode before this, and I'm planning on getting him on there, but or on here rather. But my dad was in the hospital for double bypass open heart surgery. You know, and like, I don't know if you guys have ever gone through that or experienced that with a family member, but it is frightening. You know, and needless to say, it was very hard for me to like show my emotion. You know, because not that I'm scared of being judged, but it's when you start showing emotion about something like that, it almost comes across that it's like deemed like pessimistic, right? And I never wanted to think like that. I always wanted to keep like my head very clear. Wanted to stay in like very like high spirits, right? And I I tried my best. You know, it's very difficult in a time like that, but it was a hard time. It was a very difficult time, and especially with it being Father's Day, for everyone out there, I know it's very belated, but appreciate your appreciate your parents, mother, father, grandparents, aunts, uncles. It doesn't even matter if people are looking out for you on a daily basis and they're putting their needs aside for you. You know, like they should be appreciated. You know, because us as kids, which most of the demographic that I'm kind of aiming towards is like young, like early 20s, you know, maybe mid 20s, even late teens, like appreciate the people around you that put their needs to the side to help you out, because you you can't even fathom the fucking shit that they go through and the stuff that they do just to make ends meet, of like putting food on the table and making sure that you get to sports on time and school on time and making sure that you always feel loved. You know what I mean? So that was a hard thing for me because I mean, do I even really have to explain myself? Like, my dad is one of my best friends. He knows everything about me. You know, he been there through fucking thick and thin. And like, we've had our arguments. I can't fucking think of anyone who hasn't, but it's always the way that you resolve the arguments of, and that's like what makes you stronger as a couple, dare I say, you know. But um he's good now. You know, he got discharged from the hospital last week, and he's been pushing through. You know, I mean, it's gonna take some time for him to fully recover, but he's doing good things, and I'm proud of him. And that motherfucker's a trooper. You know, hope he doesn't listen to this. He'll start crying and shit. But this is for you guys out there. You know, because trust me, I was a stupid teenager. Even now, like, I get caught up in everyday life of whether it's work or hanging out with people, and it's very hard to show that appreciation, even though those people in my life like mean a lot to me, you know. So I'm just saying, like, if you can avoid fights, do it to the best of your ability. Obviously, like, they're gonna come, they're gonna go, you know. But at the end of the day, just think about all the sacrifices that they made for you, you know. All right, now to get off of such a depressing ass topic, but there have been good things, you know. Like, one of the good things, I guess you could say, whether if you take it or not, but a lot of my friends and family members have firearms, you know. So that was also a big reason why I bought this desk, because I need somewhere to put the safe. It's over there. A wise man told me not to show it off, but I can't, because it makes me feel like I'm fucking awesome. But either way, so I needed somewhere to put the safe. Well, actually, like, my fucking thought process was so stupid. So I applied for the firearms identification card online or whatever. And then when I got approved, I went and bought a Smith & Wesson 9mm like 2 days after. But the day I got the FID, like, I fucking went shooting, you know, because it's exhilarating, it's fun, like, it makes you feel like you're in control in a world that you literally have no control over. You know, bad shit happens, but if you could protect yourself and you could look out for the people around you to the best of your ability, then I say it's a great choice for you. For people that don't necessarily agree with guns, that's your own prerogative. You know, I can understand where you're coming from, but at the end of the day, it's used as self protection, or that's what the hopes of it is for, used for self protection. You know, and I know in a lot of cases it's not, and it's used for criminal activity, but that's all besides the point. But so that was my thing. Is I wanted to feel like I was safer, even though in reality I'm probably never going to use it for like self defense, because like when you know what I mean, like what are the chances of it really happening? But in the case that it does happen, now I feel protected, you know, and I feel like it's something else just to kind of occupy my time, you know, if like I found an interest in it. I found a lot of YouTube videos about pistols and firearms and the safety and like different accessories and stuff, and I kind of just went into like a rabbit hole of all that shit, and I did a lot of research trying to figure out what I wanted, and then I came to the conclusion that that's what it was, you know. So oh my, yeah, I had a meatball sub before, I'm sorry, but that was that. So then I got the gun, and then I needed somewhere to store it, so I had to buy a safe, but I had nowhere to store the safe, so I built this desk. It's a trickle down effect, but needless to say, it all worked out, and I feel I'm very proud. I'm very proud of myself. And for you youngsters out there, do things that excite you. You know, if you're good at something, then run with it. You know, but don't ever stop experimenting and trying new things and just getting your hands dirty. You know, I genuinely believe that you should always try something once before you judge it, except for murder or arson. Maybe don't try those things. Just kind of assume that they're bad. You know what I mean? But that's all besides the point. So that was something that like has been like occupying a lot of my time recently. And then another big thing is that I'm actually going through the process of getting hired, which I don't really know if I could disclose the information. I'm sure I probably can, but it's like extreme background checking and stuff, so I'm not going to go too deep into detail, but it's a county job, you know, and I don't even know why I'm really interested in it. I kind of just took a shot in the wind and kind of just applied, and needless to say, it's really working out for me lately. I went for a training thing, like a 2 hour training, I guess you can call it. It's almost like a test, like a written test, to kind of go off like basic skills, like basic math, literature, whatever the case is, right? And I guess I did pretty well because they called me back for an interview. And as you guys can tell, I'm amazing at talking to people. I am always the star of the show, right? So I went for the interview and I heard back, and I have actually a psychology test or a psych exam or whatever you want to call it in a couple hours. Because it's currently 1:30 in the morning and I have this thing at 8 a.m. But I'm not tired. And it's like a virtual meeting, so I was like messing around with my camera, and I was like, you know what, should I use the camera? Should I use my MacBook camera? I'm like, I don't know. And then I started setting up the camera for this, and I was like, fuck it, what am I gonna do? Break all this stuff down and then have to redo it? I have to put an episode out in a couple days anyway. Why not just kill two birds with one stone? And fucking record the thing while I'm at it. So I set up the ring lights, I set up my MacBook, I figured out all the angles, and smooth sailing from here, I guess. But that's just like a lot of shit that's been going on with me, and honestly, I wasn't fully committed to coming back. You know, I wasn't gonna continue the podcast just because I felt like it was starting to get boring for me. I wasn't seeing like the progress, or not the progress, but I wasn't seeing the numbers that I wanted. I just felt like it was very like slow moving, and I just I don't know, you know, like I felt like I was failing at it when in reality I wasn't. So I went out like last weekend with my cousin, and to my surprise, I had probably about like 7 or 8 people of people that I'm not even terribly close with that came up to me and said, "Yo, Joe, like when are you dropping like another episode, like another video? Like we love listening to you talk. Like we love the way that you like interview people and like your thoughts on shit." And honestly, it was like a huge like ego boost for me because when I'm here, there's no one here. You know, like this is literally me completely alone. Like these are just my thoughts and my perspectives on things, and I'm just getting them out. And it's nice to know that you guys are engaging with it well and you enjoy it just as much as I enjoy making them. But there was a point in time where I genuinely didn't think that I was going to come back to it. But that little spike of like entertainment aspect of where like people were like enjoying it, like that felt good, you know, like if, and that was the whole reason of why I wanted to start this, like to kind of engage with more people. And okay, let me get into the real reason, right? So I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I felt like the biggest reason of why I wanted to start a podcast and was because I felt like my whole life, even when I was very young, I was like everyone kind of depicted me as like stupid, right? And I wouldn't say like unintelligent, but more of like where I kind of say what I feel, you know, and most of the time it's not taken the right way. So I guess people like attach unintelligence to kind of like a carefree living, and I just that was that. Like I felt like a lot of people thought that I was like very stone cold and I had like no emotion and I was dumb in a sense when in reality I'm not. Like out of my friend group and out of a lot of people that I know, like I would say I'm very like emotional. You know, like I put a lot of emotion into a lot of stuff that I do and I do everything with my heart. And I feel like not a lot of people get that vibe from me because for a while I didn't want people to get that vibe from me. I wanted everyone to think that I didn't care, you know, and it's probably a young mindset because in reality I do care. Like I care about a lot of shit, but it's just like you figure out when to care and when to not care. And that was like my biggest thing is like, fuck, I'm like rambling right now because I don't even know how to explain myself. But I'm sure if you're out there, you probably understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But that was kind of like the biggest thing is I wanted people to know that I'm like more than like a dumb jock, essentially, right? And I feel like this gives me like an outlet where I can't really be judged like when I'm like firsthand giving my perspective on things because no one's fucking here and like no one's laying in my bed like laughing, you know, not that I would really care anyway, but it's like they're doing it behind a computer screen and I don't really think anyone kind of has the balls to say it to me in person. That's fine, but at the end of the day, like I do like the criticism, but I like the criticism when it comes from a point of like, okay, like I enjoy what you're doing, but I think that you could do this, and I think this would help you out in the long run, and I think this would have you like this would get you more engagement and like allow people to uh like relate to you more, you know? I like that. And like I like that a lot because that's how my friend group is where my friend group watches the episodes or the videos or whatever and they give me like constructive criticism, which means the world to me because at the end of the day, that's the audience. You know, like those are the people that I'm trying to target. So when they have an opinion about these things, it's a great fucking feeling because it's like it's a sense of support. Like people are looking out for you. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm glad to be back. I hope you guys are glad to have me back.